Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your boy Kenny, and this is Queen Sugar, Season 2, Episode 12, and the name of this episode is Live in the All Along. This was a really good episode, and let's just say there were some revelations that came out in this episode as well. But before I get started, let me give out my love and condolences to everyone that was affected by the tragedies in Las Vegas, as well as the tragedies of the hurricanes, Harvey, Irma, Jose and Maria. If you can give any kind of relief or any kind of assistance to anyone that's been affected by these tragedies, please do so. It is our responsibility to help our fellow men in times of trouble, and we all, as human beings, need to honor that. All right, so let's begin with this. Let's begin with this review here. Now, the episode opens up. Charlie and Remy are looking over the land where they plan to have, the Black Festival. Where it's for the African American community, and they can actually crown, the Brown Sugar Queen, and pretty much, we actually see that Charlie's on the phone with her mom. They're kind of like reconnecting. She's saying, I'm glad that you were here, and I really thank you for everything you've done for me, and I'm very grateful for the time I spent with you and all of that. And then after she gets off the phone with her mother, she talks to Remy. Remy's like, I actually enjoyed meeting your mother because it gave me an insight, into who you are. And she's like, and what did you find out? He says that, I'll let you know later on. And I'm like, okay, Remy, I'm kind of wondering, you on some bullshit? I guess time will tell. But then she's like, well, what about your insight into me right now, huh? And then they kind of give each other their eyes and they kind of make out. And I was like, Remy and her really do make a good couple. And, definitely the chemistry there is just getting better and better. But then again, it makes me question, how strong is their chemistry? Because there's definitely some chemistry there, but is their chemistry strong enough? And I'm gonna explain myself, throughout this review as to why I said that. But yeah, but they're looking at the space for the festival, and they have a connect. They pretty much are making big plans for that. So then we get a scene with Robin and Nova. Nova is now in Atlanta. She's about to appear on, I think it's CNN, I think. And it's pretty much a panel about Zika. And they're pretty much, her and Robin are going back and forth on talking points and everything like that. And and pretty much they're pretty much, they pretty much got a game plan as to what they want to talk about and how they want to control the narrative about talking about this whole, Zika virus. So pretty much she says, I got a gift for you, and I think it'll look great for you on camera. He buys her these pearls, and let me say, Nova looked stunning. Like, her Afrocentric fashion, she is gorgeous. And I'm just saying, I love her and Robert together. I mean, both of them, melanin on fleek. It just makes me proud to be dark and beautiful, baby. And I was just getting that from them. And, she looked amazing. Like, her dress, the hair, everything, she looked flawless. And then, like, what ended up happening is that they get on the panel, and they had a game plan as to what they were going to do, but while they were in between, commercial break or whatever, he was checking, the social media platforms. He says that, look, the social media is not jumping, so he immediately thinks on his feet, okay, I need to create something where people can actually pay attention. So pretty much what ends up happening is that, when the commercial comes back, and the commentator who's in between them, she starts asking Nova questions. Then he starts rebuffing everything she says, and pretty much she was saying that and he's pretty much saying that this is his, and she's pretty much, well, I'm sorry, how do I word it? Well, let's just say within the context, he changes the game plan. At first, they were kind of on the same team, but then he starts antagonizing her, throughout the interview, where he kind of makes comments that, I wonder if what you're saying right now is accurate or factual, and you're just not going off of like your feelings. I'm just paraphrasing, but he pretty much kind of, at first they were kind of, like playing on the same team, but then he changed it up where he became somewhat the antagonist. But what that did was that made Nova fight even harder, and she just started coming out like, talking about, white patriarchal society is one of the causes of this because they're sitting back drinking highballs instead of actually focusing, on the lower 80%. And right now the lower 80% is suffering, and a lot of this suffering is due to the fact that there's nobody there caring or giving any real proper care to these communities. And she just went in and killed it, and it actually got what he wanted. It actually got the media talking. But this pissed Nova off. She was like, you know what? I'm over this shit. She was like, you literally went out there and you sandbagged me. What the hell was that? You said that we had a plan. He's like, yeah, but it worked. Look, we got the media talking. They're talking about you. Social media is going crazy right now off of this. Like, me doing that actually made you stand out more. But Nova was like, no, it's the thing about it, you didn't say anything to me about this. I was totally thrown off by what you did, and here it is, I thought you were on my team, and I realized that and then like at this moment I just feel that you weren't. And he's like, I am on your team, but I had to kind of create some diversion because that's what made it good. But then she was like, you know what? You ain't coming back to me with New Orleans. Just leave me the hell alone. And she ends up going back to New Orleans without him, which also sets him off. But then we actually see him later. And I don't think it's over for Robin and Nova. I really don't. But what also ends up happening is that we get a scene with Vi and Ralph Angel and Darla. They got their marriage license. Their license expiring in 30 days. They pretty much said they're just going to go to a judge and get it done. Vi is like, okay, you want to go to a judge. Well, she's like, well, I'll tell you this. If you guys decide this is what y'all want to do, is your wedding, you can choose to do it any way you want to. But if you guys decide to change your mind, you know where I live. But then again, I think the reason, we're thinking the reason why, at first we're thinking the reason Ralph Angel, why they decided to go to the Justice of the Peace instead of actually, having a wedding is because of money. But we come to find out it has nothing to do with money at all. So we definitely play around with that. So then we actually get a scene with Davis West. He's seeing a doctor. He has to have surgery. And this surgery may take him out for like 6 to 8 weeks. And, training camp is about to come, and he could be out for the season. But he has to go to LA for this surgery. And we actually see Judith actually texts him, but he calls Charlie. Interesting, huh? So we even see, even though him and Charlie are divorced, he still reached out for Charlie. Even though he's dating, Tamara Judith, that's her name. And even though he's dating her, he reached out for Charlie, but Charlie didn't pick up the phone. And then we actually see that, and this was going on while, Remy and Charlie are still at the site where they really wanted to have, this Black Festival, where there were going to be amusement park rides. It was going to be this really big, extravagant, celebration. But all that got thrown off because the guy, Mr. Winston, who actually was going to be leasing this land to them, tells them that, this property is no longer available, and he starts singing a different tune, and he was saying that, and then all of a sudden Remy's like, what the hell do you mean we no longer have the property? We made a deal. And then all of a sudden, we see that smug ass Sam Landry like, well, the thing is you had a handshake deal, but hey, things are the way they are, and we just have to abide by them. And if anything, Charlie walked up to him, and she was like, you listen to me. You normally deal with people who are spineless, but I have a backbone. And I'm not going away. So we see that Landry obviously sees what Charlie's trying to do, and he's trying to sabotage her at every turn. Because we see later on, they actually got another property, I think it was at a church or whatever, and I think the church had a big piece of land where they were going to still be able to do what they wanted to do with the previous land, with the amusement park theme and all of that. But then that got shut down because Sam Landry owns the pastor's insurance. So if he didn't want his insurance messed up, he chose to drop them also. Because at first they had it set up, because what ended up happening was that Charlie and Remy were like making calls left and right to try to find a new venue. They found it with that pastor, but then that pastor backed out after Landry got to him. So she's like wondering, why is Landry trying to stop my black festival so badly? It's because he knows you're effective, and he knows that you a boss bitch, and he knows that you can actually turn things around, and they're trying to do everything they can to sabotage, and he's trying to do everything he can to sabotage that. So we saw that go on. And then we also get a scene where Charlie and Remy are at the house. They drinking wine, and they pretty much are happy or whatever, and they're kind of cozying up. And then all of a sudden, Micah and Davis walks in. Micah's like, what's up? And I was like, Micah ain't liking Remy being with his mom. So that's evident. But then Davis and Remy, you can definitely tell there's tension there, but they cool with it. And pretty much, they're talking. She's talking about the festival and all of that. And, she says that, look, we changed the location, so when you go pick up Micah tomorrow, he's going to be at a different location. But then that's when he got the call that they backed out. But then he pretty much lets her know that, look, we've had situations like this before where things didn't turn out the way we planned it, and we just made lemonade out of it. You have to do the same thing here. He says that, remember we had that event and Destiny Child was going to be there, but that didn't happen, so we ended up doing karaoke and everybody had a good time. You're going to have to do the same thing here. You lost your venue, so, why not? And then they started kind of like, they pretty much started contemplating, but we can definitely tell David feels some kind of way because obviously Remy is now in the picture, and now Remy is now her go-to guy, and it's no longer him. And we can tell that made him feel some kind of way. Because they pretty much, because pretty much, they was like, so let's talk to Bi. Bi got enough space, we can try it there. We're just going to have to make this work. So, we saw that go on. So then, we also get a scene with Ralph Angel. He meets with Proctor. Proctor goes over the numbers and everything. He says that, look, with this new harvest, it's great, because Ralph Angel's excited because he thinks he's going to make a lot of money. But what he finds out is that he only going to break even this first year. So Ralph Angel feels some kind of way about that. He's like, man, I ain't do all this work to just break even. I really wanted to do big things, and I had plans, and now this bullshit. But then Proctor kind of like hipped him up on game. He said, you know what? I went through 7 years of losses, and then all of a sudden my knees gave out and I wasn't able to really farm like I used to. And then he was like, oh wow, I didn't know that. He's like, because he had to kind of get Ralph Angel together. He's like, nigga, stop bitching. Like, look, this is business. This happens. You probably going to experience some pain before you really win. And he says that, look, I didn't, like, do you know how much I wanted to break even my first year? You broke even your first year. I didn't even break even. I lost for 7 years. And by the time I broke even, my knees had gave out. So therefore, it pretty much stifled me. But then he was saying that, look, I really wanted to give Darla a nice wedding. You know, that's what I really wanted to do with this harvest money. And now I realize I can't even afford it. But then again, really money ain't the issue though. Let's see what else I want to talk about. Oh yes, and then we also get a scene with Aunt Vi. She's actually created, you know, the crown for the brown sugar queen, and she's also getting desserts and everything ready for the event, you know, for the festival. So they're all a gang and they're really happy. Finally Nova shows up and, you know, they're all happy and everything, and they all was like talking about Nova being on television and all of that. And it's like, oh yeah, girl, you look good on TV. You was doing your thing. We're really proud of you, fam. And, you know, they all cheering up and everything. And then Vi's like, and also Nova wanted to go touch the crown. She smacked her hands like, don't you touch my crown. It's like, you know what? I'm going to trust that you guys are going to behave yourselves and not touch this crown. But then she ends up moving the crown away. She's like, And she's like, come on, Vi, we grown. So then this causes for, so pretty much this actually causes for Nova and Charlie to chat. And she was like, you know, and she's like, so when's Robert coming? And she's like, oh, he ain't going to be here. And she's like, what went down? She's like, so obviously you didn't watch what happened on TV. She was like, yeah, I did watch it. I saw that you struggled at first, but then after a while, you guys came around. But she's like, well, what about the part when he, you know, came after me and all that? That wasn't initially our plan. And she was like, okay, yeah. And but then she asked him, did he tell you he was going to do that? And she said, no. Okay. She's like, okay, he was wrong for not telling you that that's what he was going to do. But at the end of the day, no one wants to watch television and watch two talking heads just agreeing with each other going back and forth. People want the diversity. People want the, you know, people want, you know, the pros and the cons. So the fact that he did that, it made you stand out more and it made you more aggressive and your intelligence and everything shine through. So it actually worked. I mean, yeah, he should have cleared that with you before he did that. But at the end of the day, it actually worked. It actually made you stand out more. So he did you a favor. So, and she was like, well, the thing is, you should maybe ask him about that. But he needs to be here in order for you to do that. So I was like, Charlie was good. She was like, letting Nova know, like, look, you guys need to sit down and y'all need to talk and y'all need to get to the bottom of that. So I thought that was cool. And then we actually see that finally Davis meets Kiki. She calls him Mr. Davis, and he's like, she calls him Mr. West, and he was like, oh no, call me Davis. She's like, oh no, I'm gonna call you Mr. West. I'm like, Kiki is just a really good girl, and she definitely has Southern charm. So, but he definitely is also taken by. He's like, yeah, Micah talks about you all the time. Oh yeah, and Micah just love him some Kiki. And so pretty much everybody's getting ready for the festival, and what ended up happening was that they were going to have it at Aunt Vi's house, but then something happened. There were road closures, so therefore the catering and everything that they need for the event is not going to be able to get there. So she really is like, wow, this damn Landry is just going to keep coming for me. So she gets really pissed off, but then they all come up with the idea that, look, we ain't going to let this Landry motherfucker stop us from having a good time and for us celebrating us and our culture and our farm. So, in our community. So, let's do what we're going to do. Like, you know what, since we're not going to be able to make it all the way out here, let's have it at the mill. We can kind of have like a little potluck thing there, and everything's going to be fine. But then, also, Davis is also there too. So Davis is like, yeah, I can also get, my friend, Judith to come perform, and she also got singers. We can bring them there too. And all of a sudden, Charlie's like, well, how did you pull that one off? And then we see Charlie make that face. I'm like, oh yeah, Judith is his new woman. So it's like, wow, we kind of saw that Davis felt some kind of way about Remy, and she felt some kind of way about Tamar Judith. And I'm like, this is some crazy shit here. Because it was like, in a way, they both found their own partners, but you can definitely, I really can see throughout this whole episode, it's not fully over between Davis and Charlie. And it's crazy. So pretty much they're now, we see that Ralph Angel and Hollywood have a moment. They're trying, they're pretty much getting everything prepared at the mill, for the Black Festival. And he's talking about the wedding, and he's saying that we just gonna break even. And, I really wanted to give Darla a nice wedding and all that. So, Hollywood says that, look, sometimes when life throws you curveballs, you just got to do what you got to do. And look, maybe you need to take on a second job. So he mentions, like, this friend of his who works at, like, this shrimp, shrimp factory or whatever. And he says, oh, yeah, coming home stinking and all that. Yeah, you can mess me with that. But he's saying that, look, you really want to do this for your woman, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. So I'll just give you the number. What you do is what you do. But at the end of the day, if you really want to make this happen, you got to do what you got to do. So we saw that go on. So then we see the festival is going on. Everybody's having a good time. We see, the community's there. They're having fun. We see all these little black girls who are in the running to be, the black sugar queen. The brown sugar queen. I'm sorry. And we're just seeing just black people being celebrated. But Charlie is mad as hell. We also see that Judith performs there, and we see that Judith performs, and we also see there's other singers that are there, and but we see that Charlie is like really, really mad, and the reason why she's mad is because she says that everything that she was trying to plan failed, and she feels very defeated at this moment. It's like he did everything he could to break me, and I think he won. And it was Lenny as well as Nova who reassured her, no, he didn't. Look what you've done. You took lemons and you made lemonade. You actually brought the community together. Do you think anybody around here mad that we ain't got the rides and the bells and whistles, as far as the amusement park thing that you had? There ain't nobody tripping off of that. We taking what we have and we're making it work, and everybody's having a good time. So she pretty much said that, look, we literally, what you have done was what you needed to do. You brought the community together. The community's here. They're having a great time, and you should do the same. So then we also get a scene. After that, we get a scene with Darla and Anvi. Darla is obviously very emotional because she lets her know that her parents finally called her. She missed her calls, but she checked back and found out that her mother and her parents actually called her, and they haven't spoken in 6 years. And she says that they're coming, and she's like, and Anvi's like, that's good news, that's great news. But she's like, I'm nervous, and what if my dad doesn't see me for me, he only sees what he wants? And she says that, well, that's his issue, and don't make it yours. And she says that, look, you are about to get married, you are a good mother, and it was good seeing Vi and Darla in this place, because we saw in season 1, she gave no cares for Darla because of the fact that Darla had fell into drugs and prostitution and pretty much left Blue destitute. But we're seeing that there has been an overall change in their relationship, and they are connecting in a beautiful way. But she said, but she also let her know that, look, if you guys want to change your mind about going to the Justice of the Peace and you actually want an actual wedding, you know where to find me. I got you. And I'm just like, yeah, it was everything, and it really made Darla emotional because. So therefore, they have the brown. They pretty much have the crowning of the brown sugar queen, and the girl who won was Kiki. So Kiki finally won, and she probably won in the best way because she won, being represented by her own community. So it was a beautiful thing. And she also thanks, Davis West. She also thanks Tamar. And then she also says the guy that's by my side, that's been through with me through thick and thin, the guy that's been right by my side, Remy Newell. And then all of a sudden, she kisses Remy in front of them. And we can see that made Davis feel some kind of way. And we can definitely see that Charlie felt some kind of way when she saw Judith singing. So it's like, yo, they still, in some way, even though they moved on to different people, they still, in some way, they want each other, and it's crazy. Or they feel some kind of way because even though they divorced, they still got feelings for one another. So then we actually see Robert actually shows up. And I was like, ooh. So he was like, may I get a moment of your time? And I was standing next to her, and she was like, and she's like, yes. So they go off to talk. And pretty much he's saying that, look, I've messed up. I really messed up, and I really want to fix this. Can we fix this? And she was like, look, if we're going to be together, we need to be partners, and you need to not see me as a chess piece. And he's like, I don't see you that way. But, I want you by my side. You're brilliant and you're special, and, and he's saying that, look, you're the face of this movement, and I love you. And she says, what you mean the face of the movement? I'm not the face of the movement. I'm no different than anybody else. We're all equal. She's like, yeah, but every movement needs a leader. And you definitely are the person that's fit for that. I mean, what you can do, it can go beyond the Ninth Ward and everything. And she's saying that, what makes you think I want to leave the Ninth? He's like, but you can do so much, and you have so much more potential. And she's like, well, that's just it. You want me to be what you want me to be, but you don't want to accept me for where I am. And if you think I'm going to leave the Ninth Ward, you obviously didn't know me from the beginning. So she's like, you need to go. And I'm like, Nova, you get me on my nerves. You got a good guy here. I mean, because even though, yes, he definitely has big dreams and big aspirations, he does love Nova from her core. And I'm like, no. And she pretty much told him he had to leave, so he ends up leaving. And I'm like, damn. I really want melanin beauty to finally work. But I really have a good feeling, and I'm really holding out hope it's not over between Robert and Nova, because I really like them together. So then we also get a scene with Darla and Ralph Angel. She finally lets him know that her parents are coming, and that she actually does want an actual wedding. And they pretty much, kiss, and they say they love each other, and it's all good. So then we see that Charlie and Davis have a moment, and pretty much she said that, I really do thank you, for the singers, for bringing Judith here. It really meant a lot to me. And he says, no problem, I got you. And he says that, I'm about to go to LA tomorrow. Do you want to know why? And she's like, no, because it's not for me to know anymore. Really, he's going because he's about to have surgery. But he really was just saying, so pretty much he was saying that, well, you know, so pretty much they have a conversation, and she also mentions that, you know, Remy is very important to me, and I'm glad to have him by my side and all that. And, you know, but then, like, before he left, he pretty much says that, I'm sorry, Charlie, for all of it. I am so sorry. And we see that this kind of makes Charlie emotional. So I'm like, yeah, they still got feelings for each other. I don't think they fully gotten over each other. So I'm thinking this is going to be rather interesting of how this plays out. So that's what I have, y'all. If I missed anything, put it down in the comments. Or if you have any commentary to this episode, put it down there. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about it. But I really did like this episode. This was really good. But subscribe to my channel. Click that bell so you get notifications every time I drop a video. Also, I've started a GoFundMe. You can find that link in the description box below. Also, like this video, comment on this video, and share this video. And I will be back with the next episode of Queen Sugar. So until then, everybody, take care.